So I've been telling people who have seen me that I'm wearing my birthday suit. It is my birthday suit because my children decided that I needed a better suit or a newer suit, given that I've lost some weight. So that's why I'm wearing my birthday suit in honor of my children. One day a pastor was summoned to an obviously poor man who was trying to live on $4,000 a year. The pastor talked with him for a while and finally said, let's begin at the beginning and have a word of prayer in which we will dedicate 1/10 of your income to the work of the church. No problem, thought the man. That's only $400 a year. And that really isn't much today. Why, it's only $8 a week. So they prayed together. And he promised to give back 10% to the Lord and the Lord's work. Now, over the years, this man became quite wealthy, and eventually came to the point where he was making almost $100,000 a year. He came to the pastor and said, I'd like to be released from that promise I made many years ago. 1/10 of my income is now $10,000 a year, and I have some other plans for that. No problem, said the pastor, as they bowed in prayer. He prayed not for the release of the promise, but that the man's salary would be reduced to $4,000 once more, so he could again afford to pay his tithe. The man jumped up from the prayer and stamped out of the room, muttering something about, that isn't what I have in mind at all. In our lifetime Sharon and I have been economically in the same position as the man in this story. When we first started out farming, we were poor, barely able to sustain our family, and only able to offer a minimal offering to our church on Sunday morning. Later, after working my way through Cuba County Community College and RIT, we were better off, and we were able to tithe with our church offering. The good news is, through all of our financial issues, they are a matter of perspective. We were only poor when we were desperate. And when we were wealthy, it was easier and more rewarding to be able to share that wealth with others, especially with the church. From my point of view, God didn't care what our financial situation was. When we needed something, we got through it. Because with God, it was with God's help, and it was with God's encouragement. And when we had enough, that same God was still there. And he allowed us to share what we had with those who didn't have as much. So I would offer this little prayer. God of those who have much, as well as those who don't have much, help us to understand that in your eyes, all of us are equal and worthy